Hey all, welcome to Share Trek. This is Raj here. Friends, most of us as humans always have thoughts. Those thoughts can be good, those thoughts can be bad. And there are some thoughts that bring us down, there are some thoughts that uplift us. Today I want to talk to you about those thoughts and the strategies that you can use in order to be above the thoughts and in order to make the best out of the thoughts that you get and live a good, happy life. All of us have problems from time to time. Some problems are inherent, which we are not to blame for. Some problems happen because we are doing a business, or we got into a transaction, or we entered into an agreement, and that's the root cause of the problem. So, problems cannot be avoided, and the resultant thoughts also cannot be avoided. Thoughts are just like the air that we breathe. So today I want to talk about some techniques that can be used in order to get the best out of everything. So watch till the end and I'm sure you'll find something of use. And most of the things I'm talking about, I personally try to practice those things in order to always stay positive. Let's get started. In a way, I would say that we are swimming in an ocean of thoughts. The thoughts are always there. There are different types of thoughts. Just like there are different races of people or there are different species of animal, thoughts are varied in nature. Thoughts could be fleeting thoughts, they could be persistent thoughts, they could be good thoughts, they could be bad thoughts, there could be uplifting thoughts. You name them, there are so many varieties out there. In a way, you could say that you are swimming in a sea of thoughts, or you could also say that you are standing in the open and the wind is blowing and it's blowing leaves which are just going past you and swirling around you, and each of those leaves could be a thought. That's how I visualize it. So we have to understand the nature of thoughts. The thoughts are natural and constant, but they do not define who we are. Everyone has negative thoughts from time to time. There is not a single person who is always positive. You can also see that there are comedians who have depression, but they make everybody laugh, and that is their job. They come and make everyone laugh, and they transfer happy vibes. But personally, they're going through depression. They need to take medicine from time to time to stay upbeat. So the most important thing to understand is that you're not unique in the sense that everyone has thoughts from time to time. The most important thing to remember is that your thoughts do not define who you are. Thoughts are temporary in nature, they are transient, they come and they go. They do not have to control our action or emotions. But it is easier said than done. When you're in the midst of a thought, the thought takes you over and starts riding you. So, those of you who have seen the movie Avatar, you will know that all those flying dragons, they have some kind of a cable, and then the Navi people connect the cable, and then they have control over the dragon, and the dragon follows their directions. So the thoughts end up connecting the cables with us, and they start making us do things. So that's the reason why some people act out on thoughts, and that's where the saying comes, count until 10 before you do anything. Because when you start counting until 10, your mind is going away from the thought and it's focusing on the countdown. And as a result, you get a little bit of separation from your thought, and you could probably save yourself from allowing your thought to ride you. So that's the most important thing. And of late, there are new techniques that have been developed in order to achieve this. One of them is the mindfulness technique of observing the thoughts. So what does it mean by observing the thoughts? So when somebody asks you, what are you thinking? Then our automatic response is, I am thinking that it would be nice to eat a cake. But let us say you are trying to stay on a diet. And if somebody asks you, what are you thinking about? You could say, my thoughts are telling me that I should eat a cake, right? So it's a very, very different way of framing the statement. And along with framing the statement, you start distancing yourself from the thought. So earlier you were saying, I am thinking of eating a cake. But now you are saying, my thoughts are telling me to eat a cake. So the thoughts are something else different from yourself. They are coming and they are going and they are telling you something. You don't listen to every other person on the street who talks to you, whom you don't know, whom you have no relationship with. So those thoughts are like them. They are like strangers walking past you saying, eat a cake. You don't have to listen to them. You have to do what you need to do. So that's one way of separating the thoughts and making them a little bit distant from the self. So that when a negative thought arises, you just simply acknowledge its presence. For example, if I'm dieting, wanting to eat a cake is a negative thought. So when I say my thoughts are asking me to eat a cake, then I'm giving myself the opportunity to decide whether I should cater to their ask. Should I say, okay, I will eat a cake if you say so? Or am I going to say, no, I don't feel like eating a cake right now. Eating a cake is not good for me. Go away. Right? So that opportunity presents itself. So that's the way to detach from negative thoughts. And this is kind of cognitive diffusion. It involves viewing thoughts as separate from oneself and using metaphors, um, like watching leaves float down a stream or clouds passing in the sky, where each of those leaves are a thought or each of those clouds are a thought. You can try to understand what we are trying to achieve. We want all your thoughts to be separate from yourself, and you need to separate them. You can also label your thoughts. For example, if your thoughts are saying that I'm worthless, then you can reframe it as saying, I am having a thought that I'm worthless. Or you can say, one of my thought is telling me I'm worthless. So you can frame it that way. And then you can say, okay, you may say I'm worthless, but I don't think so. Then you also have other techniques. You can have techniques from yoga or something like simple breathing exercise to focus on your breathing so that you are here and now and in the present moment, and the intensity of negative thoughts goes away. It reduces a little bit because you're focusing on your breathing and you're breathing in and breathing out. So this is a way of distracting yourself from your thoughts. And if you do that for a short period of time, then the thought moves a little bit away, and then you can start using the technique of saying that my thought is saying so and so. So further push them away. So you could do those kind of things. And I think most of the people will find it very, very hard to accept that these simple techniques can provide relief. But if you actually start trying to do that and make it your habit, then what you will find is that you are yourself on your own, and you see a lot of thoughts swimming around you, and you can pick and choose which thought you want to examine and which thought you want to act on and which thought you want to ignore. And then you give yourself the power to ignore the negative thoughts and to honor the positive thoughts, to ignore the destructive thoughts and to build upon the constructive thoughts. So that's what we are trying to achieve. Another good thing I would say is meditation. Meditation allows you to move away from the sea of thoughts in which you are immersed. I recollect in my early 30s, I had started a business with my wife. We had put all our money into the business. And then we had a huge flooding in the property, and the business was closed for almost 3 months. Salaries were paid to staff, and our bank balance was running to zero. I was very stressed. Every day I would go and look at the municipal office to see what is the level of the water table, because I wanted the water table to go down sufficiently so that my office would not have any water anymore, and I can dry it up and start getting my revenue back again and put my staff to work. So at that point of time, I picked up a book on meditation. And meditation is basically what I told you about earlier, like mindfulness. I would just sit with my eyes closed, and I would breathe in and breathe out and focus just on my breathing. And initially, I found it very, very difficult to meditate because there was a sea of thoughts that would come to me, and I would think of these thoughts like deer. It's like a deer It's grazing in the field, and the moment you look at it, it starts galloping and your eyes follow it. And then while you're following the deer, then there is another deer, and your eyes start tracking the second one, and so on. And before long, you realize that you're just watching them run around from one deer to another, and each deer is a thought. So one thought leads to another thought, leads to another thought. It's like a relay race, and your mind is following all of them. And in the process, your mind is getting bruised and battered and bruised and battered, because these are all negative thoughts. They are denting your personality, they are denting your ego, they are denting your self-worth, they are denting your self-esteem. It's absolute violence and mayhem in the mental sphere. So at that stage, the person from whom I borrowed the book on meditation, they told me, Raj, there is one technique. Don't fight the thoughts. Say, thoughts, come in. I want to observe you. Let the thoughts come in, and then there will be a scarcity of thoughts. So I never reached the stage of scarcity of thoughts. I kept on getting the thoughts. But I think unconscious to me, what happened was I was objectifying the thoughts, because I was saying, thoughts come to me, thoughts come to me. So I was seeing as thoughts coming to me. So the thoughts were not me, but they were something else that were coming to me. So to that extent, I didn't get battered, but I never reached the stage in meditation where I could have a totally empty mind, devoid of any thoughts. It never happened. I've never experienced that. And then, of course, I wound down the business and I started a new career. I forgot about all meditation and everything. I never meditated after that. And so I've never been unhappy. I'm a very positive and optimistic person. If something goes wrong, I just write it off and I start afresh, and it has always helped me. I have handled big setbacks and I have bounced back. It's very important to realize that you can't stop time. What has to happen will happen. Time waits for none. If people had the capability to foresee what is going to happen in future, and if they had the capability to stop time, everybody will be frozen in time, trying to avoid their worst situation. So it's a blessing, I would say, that we don't have control over time. We can't stop time, and time is going to roll over us and bring with it everything that it can, regardless of whether your thoughts are positive or your thoughts are negative. The person who is supposed to get cancer will get cancer. The person who is supposed to get HIV will get HIV. The person who is supposed to get cured of HIV will get cured of HIV. The person who is supposed to get cured of cancer will get cured of cancer. Regardless of whatever they do, it's going to happen. So always stay positive and make sure that you enjoy life, because when you allow your thoughts to beat you up, you're taking a very big beating, and it's making you less capable of handling the real life that we are in. Thoughts are in the cognitive realm. They are in the they are like vapor, and we live in the real world. Regardless of whatever your thoughts say, what is in the real world is totally different. So we have to constantly be anchored to the real world, and we have to make sure that we start distancing ourselves from our thoughts and looking at our thoughts as what they are. They are just thoughts. They are not us. They do not define us. So start adding the word, I can see that my thought is saying dash dash dash. Or you can say, my thoughts are telling me dash dash dash. Instead of saying, I think. So when you start doing that distancing, then you will have an ability to neutralize the negative thoughts, to neutralize the destructive thoughts, and then choose to adopt the positive thoughts, choose to adopt the constructive thoughts, the motivating thoughts, and work on them. And it will make a lot of difference in your life. And friends, I know that many of you suffering from HIV are facing a kind of problem that the regular individual without HIV cannot appreciate. I understand that. I'm not belittling your challenge. All I'm doing is sharing some techniques which I hope you can try in order to help you cope better, in order to have a better shot at life, in order to enjoy your life better, because every day that goes away, you're not getting it back. And every day that you're not happy is unhappy life when you look back at it. So from today onwards, I want you to start making every day a happy day. Do something that makes you happy every day and try to recollect it the next day, so that as the days go by, you have a happy past to recollect, and that makes your life happy. You can start now. You can start right now. If you want, you can put it in a journal and say, today I had a thought that was so and so. It was very happy thought. Put it down there. Also, there is the thing of gratitude. Write down something that you're grateful for, right? So the nature of humans is such that in the absence of a bigger challenge, smaller challenge occupy your mind space. There could be a person who is a billionaire. He has got everything he wants. He has got a great spouse. He or she has a great spouse, and the person is a billionaire, and they can travel the world. And yet, there could be a very small thing that makes them very unhappy, right? Because they have got everything that they need. So there are smaller things. That's why you have these news about these great singers and others behaving badly in hotels and behaving badly with their servants and so on. That's because in the absence of big challenges, small things like the color of the bed sheet or something simple like that becomes a big issue for those people. So always remember, our mind always, because when we evolved, we were living in caves. As our evolution process started, we were fighting constantly with invaders or predators who were trying to kill us and eat us. So our mind has been wired for survival. So in any given scenario, we always look at glass half full, or rather glass half empty rather than glass half full, because we are worried we shouldn't run out of water. So glass half full is not what we see. We see glass is half empty. Likewise, we always expect the worst could happen to us because we want to make sure that in any case we are safe. So that's how our brain is naturally wired, and that's why this particular exercise of disassociating ourselves with our thoughts is very, very important in the modern day, when you are wearing multiple hats. You're wearing the hats of being yourself, being an employee, being a boss, being a service provider, being a consumer, being a son or a daughter, being a father or a mother. There are so many hats to wear, and each of these hats, when you wear, brings with it its own set of challenges and conflicts. So friends, I hope my message from today, it goes in well and clear. Start looking at your thoughts, start distancing yourself from your thoughts and examining them as different from yourself, separate from yourself, and that way you will be able to let go of destructive thoughts and prevent them from battering you, prevent them from abusing you, and build up your self-esteem, build up your life. Start doing something that makes you happy every day. Put it in a journal so that when you look back at your life, everything that you recollect will be happy incidents, happy events, and it will be a happy life. So friends, with that, I would like to end this video here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you have a great life ahead. Enjoy your life. Take care. Bye for now. See you later.